I've never really separated my businesses and my life. So really living your passion. And sometimes people say, wow, you work a lot. And I'm like, I'm really having fun. When I go to all these events and I meet all these wonderful people inventing these products, but really living your passion and hopefully you can combine that with your career.
I'm Melanie Barr. Welcome back to the She Built It podcast, your go-to place to empower you to live the life and business that you crave. I'm here to talk about everything from having the courage to make life and career leaps to the details of how to lead effectively, create successful teams, implement strategies for growth, and infuse tech innovation. I'm here to celebrate your wins and navigate through your challenges. I live in the city now, but I grew up in a town of 1,000 people. I've navigated major life leaps, a senior level corporate career, worked in professional sports, and now as a successful entrepreneur who loves business, technology, family, and making meaningful connections with you and the She Built It community. I also love a good workout and dose of self-care. Magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy. So turn up the audio, open your favorite notes app, grab your favorite drink, and here we go. Welcome back to the She Built It podcast. Thank you for joining us, Karen. You are a beauty and wellness industry multi-time entrepreneur and the founder of Juice Beauty. Share with us what inspired you to create your own clean skincare and makeup brand.
Thank you, Melanie. My path to Juice Beauty was really environmentalism and health and wellness and love of skincare coming together. But the path was being a serial wellness entrepreneur. And I started one of the first corporate wellness companies in the country. I helped pioneer that industry, sold it to United Healthcare. And after that, I was having babies at that time, met my husband a little bit later. And I became obsessed with skincare. And while I was pregnant, despite being a triathlete and into nutrition and fitness, I had never read a beauty products label. I'd never turned one over. Became obsessed with what was in them and what went from horror to, oh my God, all these ingredients that we don't need and that have been banned from our food and potential carcinogens, et cetera, went to, I can do this better as an entrepreneur. Fast forward, bought the name Juice Beauty and started it from scratch. And I started on the foundation of environmentalism, wellness, and organic living. It didn't occur to me to do it any other way, but with efficacy always first and everything else being the foundation. So it's really a lifetime of my loves coming together.
It's so great that you're doing this because we think about the food that we put in our bodies. And I always say to my daughter, if you can't pronounce the word, it's probably not great to put in your body. But also what we put on our skin is equally as important. And
That's
you
right.
mentioned being an athlete, doing triathlons. You start to think more about how you are treating your body when you're going through that.
Well, you do. And once you learn that food is fuel and what you're putting all over your skin, it drinks it in. And it's funny, some people still say, really? Does it really matter? I point them to UC Berkeley studies. There's a great study called the Hermosa study, which shows on preteen girls a little bit older than your twins to preteen and mid-teens, how fast within 5 days these phthalates and PFAS and all of these chemicals are absorbed. It's quite amazing. And that study was drawing their blood and looking at their urine and everything on day 1 and then doing it again on day 5, but removing them from all their traditional products and letting them only use natural organic products. And it was a blind study, of course. And it was amazing that the values dropped 40%. So your skin absorbs what is placed on it, as validated by multiple major university studies.
And that's interesting. And in California, we think about sunscreen too.
Sunscreen is so important. We only use zinc and we use non-nano, but now we have sheer zinc, which is so exciting. When we started formulating 19 years ago, the zinc was so heavy and would turn blue, but now it's pretty sheer. But the FDA has only approved 2 sunscreens for use since there's really no regulations much in the United States. Avobenzene, oxybenzene, all those things are always used, all the chemical sunscreens, but only zinc and titanium have actually been approved by the FDA. And we use mineral zinc, which literally blocks the sun. It's like putting a rock between you and the sun. Chemical sunscreens work by absorbing into your body and then reflecting off. And that's why they always say, put them on 15 minutes in advance. But you can put a mineral sunscreen on and go out in the sun right away. We have beautiful stem cellular CC creams that are tinted with plant pigments and that are zinc and organic ingredients and minerals and plant pigments. You can have the results without worrying about what's being absorbed.
Looking back, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during launching your clean beauty brand?
Being a serial entrepreneur with Juice Beauty, I started it later. It was my third company, aerobics and corporate wellness, and then Juice Beauty, it being one of the first, it's still one of the only organic ingredient beauty companies. In the early days, I didn't have the challenges that I did with my original companies of raising money because I had already sold a company, but I did have the challenges of convincing people of my idea. I started out with the concept of putting juice in juice. So when people say, why Juice Beauty? We start with organic botanical juices that are already filled with antioxidants and minerals and vitamins. Then we add the powerful peptides and hyaluronics and everything to it. So every organic drop feeds your skin. When I first started going around to labs and chemists to explain that concept, most of them threw me out. At that point, I was like, whatever, I'll just keep banging doors down. I finally found a chemist that said, oh, if you buy me a freezer and put it in my lab, and I will try to make this crazy juice stuff. Because at that time, they were only working with petroleum, which can be laced with dioxane, and we didn't want to scavenge the earth for our products, or water, which is great, but it dilutes. The second challenge over the years has just been really finding the right people that can work in a smaller business, in a mission and values-driven business. We've found so many, but it's hard.
Break down the terms clean and organic for us. Many vow to go clean, but what does that really mean and what should we look for?
The term clean can mean anything to anybody, and there's no regulation with that. So it's interesting because when I started Juice Beauty 19 years ago, it was all about green or natural. And then those words dissolved. And at that time, there's a lot of greenwashing or natural washing. And now the word clean has popped up, and it can mean a lot of things. It can mean something like Juice Beauty, which hopefully we help set the standard, or it can mean one of the big brands is using a drop of something natural, or they've moved to remove parabens, methyl propylparaben preservatives from their long-term best-selling products. So it can really mean anything. At Juice Beauty, we go beyond that. We follow the USDA National Organic Program organic laws that all products are 70% or greater total certified organic content ingredients. And why we do that are two simple reasons, but I could do 5 podcasts on organic alone, but just breaking it down to 2 simple reasons. One, better for your skin. Organically farmed ingredients have a higher antioxidant level. Antioxidants fight free radicals, which means hopefully goodbye wrinkles and smoother skin, etc. The second reason is more environmental and health, in that we don't believe that we have to spray. We don't need all these toxic pesticides on our earth and our waterways, in animals and on humans. So really it's efficacy. These antioxidants organically farmed are powerful for your skin, and 2, just environmental. So we go beyond clean to meeting the organic product laws.
You believe in farm to beauty. I can't wait to hear more about this. And purchasing an organic farm was a significant step for your brand. Tell us more about this decision and how it impacted your product formulations.
Farm to beauty, yes, it's my love. You should have seen my husband, who's a cardiologist, and he had just retired. You should have seen his face when he was just retiring. And I said, I've got a great idea. Let's buy a farm, convert it to organic, lease it back to Juice Beauty. But we found this beautiful property. It's a 20-acre beautiful vineyard in northern Sonoma County, which is the coolest town, called Healdsburg, and pretty close to our corporate headquarters in southern Sonoma County. It's really become a center for sustainability, a center for innovation, a center for science. We were lucky. We have other grapes on the property, but we're growing a rare Sagrantino grape on our property, which we're probably the only grower of that for beauty, and definitely one of the few growers in North America. And the reason that grape is so cool is that it has one of the highest antioxidant levels of all grapes. But we worked with a UC researcher to help us just on the farming techniques. And we have farmed it and fermented to have an even higher antioxidant level. And so it originally went in our stem cellular super grape serum to fight all the free radical damage that happens every minute. And now it's being infused across our entire stem cellular collection now, just to boost an already active collection. So Farm to Beauty to us is all about science and innovation, but it's also fun. It's a center for our influencer friends, our media friends, our podcast friends. to come and visit, enjoy it, and feel like they really are drinking in our brand.
I love it. I love all the thought and detail that you have put into this. It's really great for all people.
Thank you. It really is. And our skincare products, we're about 80% skincare and 20% makeup, but even our makeup is really skincare infused makeup. But it really is targeted skincare solutions through the ages. Pretty soon, your kids will be using our blemish clearing oil control collection. And then it takes you all the way through prebiotics and microbiome balancing to our green apple, getting into more age-defying and prevention, but our green apple brightening, and then our stem cellular anti-wrinkle, and then all the way to our signal peptides firming. So really skincare through the ages. We have a great, beautiful bell curve of customers and age groups. So it's really nice.
And it's so smart that you have that with the skincare craze among the teens.
I guess it happened because of TikTok, but they really only need sunscreen and maybe some lip to, if their lips are dry, and that can just be lip balm, and they don't need much, really sunscreen.
The beauty industry is constantly evolving. How have you managed to keep Juice Beauty relevant and appealing to new generations of consumers? Speaking of the younger generation.
Yeah, I think our sunscreens have really evolved, which is so nice, and into more sheer. And we have our prebiotics SPF 45 now that is great for really all ages because it's not tinted. So if someone doesn't want to tint, but you just get this beautiful glow. It also can be used as a primer or can be used alone to glow. We've always tried to be on the cutting edge of innovation, and I dream up a lot of crazy ideas. And we have 3 chemists in-house, and they're amazing. And so we try to stay on the cutting edge of innovation. For instance, like our stem cellular collection, our stem cellular moisturizer, we sell 1 moisturizer every 4.5 minutes. We just pulled that data in the last 6 months, which is fun. It's just a fun application too. It smells great. It feels great. It's clinically validated. And I might add, to appeal to the younger generation, full transparency of how we process the ingredients, what the ingredients are. Now, if it's glass, it's sustainable. Of course, if it's plastic, all of our plastic comes from an ocean and land waste recycling group. So they're helping to clean up the ocean and the land. We put it back into our products, and then you can recycle again. For the younger generations, driving authenticity and transparency, which I love, knowing a lot about the company and the values and the mission. Also, we publish our clinicals on our website to show the before and afters. So trying to appeal to all. And a lot of people know it's a female-founded company and in Northern California, and it's been a labor of love. So hopefully they're supportive of that also.
I love how transparent you are. And I'm going to have to look at the sunscreen for my daughter. She plays soccer, so she's in the sun all the time. And she's going to love that it's sunscreen that's affiliated with a beauty brand.
And our SPF Sport is perfect for kids. It's $19.50 for 3 some ounce tube. And it's zinc and organic ingredients. And it's 80-minute water resistant, believe it or not. So it's amazing. And of course, it's not the sheer spray on, but just rub it in a little bit. It just melts right in.
What advice would you give entrepreneurs who are looking to start a clean beauty brand?
It's crowded. On the other hand, it's pretty easy to start a beauty brand. You can go to Asia, go to a factory, put stuff in a bottle that you really don't know what's in there, and then market it online. And that's what we're always trying to educate consumers on, is that you have to know your company because you don't know what's in those products or those ingredients. My advice for anybody wanting to start a company is really examine whether this is you or not. And if it is, go for it. Do you have the passion for this, that everything that's going to get you through all the ups and downs? Do you have resilience? Because it's like a redwood tree falling down in front of you, particularly in the early days, pretty much every day. And you have to have the perseverance and the resilience to hop over that, and the resourcefulness. You have to have all that, and ask yourself. I actually have some entrepreneurs that have come to me in the past and go, I think I'm ready to start my own business. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to work as hard. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, stop. If you don't want to work as hard, do not start your own business. Trust me, you will work twice as hard as you've ever worked in your life. But I think examining your personality. And then for financing, are you willing to put up, you might have $1,000 extra, or you might have $1 million extra, whatever it is. Are you willing to put that money on the line, as I've done for every one of my companies first? Because then your investors are comfortable coming in after you. If you believe in yourself enough that you're willing to put some money up, and as well as time and energy, that's important too.
So true. And when you talk about someone starting a business, it's 24/7. you have to make the time and not for the work, but for yourself.
For sure.
What is next for Juice Beauty?
More innovation on our Juice Beauty organic farm, and stay tuned. We're just always working on more and more innovation. We literally are just announcing this month that we're infusing our Sagrantino antioxidant-rich grape across our stem cellular collection. So that was a big deal for us. And we're always refining our existing products, but we're always coming out with new products. Right before our super grape, we moved last year to a lot of refined zinc. And so our SPFs are so much more luxurious and nice to use. And we're working on plant science with signaling your DNA. So stay tuned for a lot of that. Plant technology, that's where our pharmaceuticals come from. Plants have powerful properties, and organically farmed ingredients have such high antioxidants. Stay tuned. But we want our customers to keep that glow. And that's the one thing we always hear from our customers is, wow, my skin's now glowing. That gets me excited.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Magic happens when we focus on the part of our business and ourself that brings us joy. Speaking of taking time away from the business, what is one thing that you do to find and live your joy?
So family, for sure. My husband is amazing. I married the right guy and had my children with my husband, and we've been married for a very long time. So marrying the right person and wanting to be with your spouse. My kids are amazing. They're in their 20s. And I'm so proud of them both. Wellness and fitness has given me joy. And I meshed that all in with my lifestyle and my business. I've never really separated my businesses and my life because it's always been wellness or organic beauty. And we're at the farm half the time. So really living your passion. And sometimes people say, wow, you work a lot. And I'm like, I'm really having fun. When I go to all these events and I meet all these wonderful people inventing these products, but really living your passion, and hopefully you can combine that with your career. That's what I do. But I tell you what, if I can't run, bike, or swim or do yoga an hour a day, oh my God, I'm a disaster.
I love that. And that's the dream, to marry your passions with your work, because you don't really feel like working. And I completely agree with you on the working out. It's life-changing.
It is. You feel good. And I remember way back when we were raising our children in 2 careers, we would have to rotate. I'll do 6 a.m., you do 7 a.m., the whole thing. And then when they got a little bit older, we could both work out at 6 a.m. It was so exciting. And then now it's obviously more flexible because they're in their 20s, but you feel so good the rest of the day. And then eating healthfully and trying to live a real wellness life, which gives you more energy and more vitality, and you look better.
Thank you so much for joining us today and telling us all about Juice Beauty and how we can keep organic and health and wellness top of mind. Please share with us how our listeners can find you and Juice Beauty.
Yes, thank you, Melanie. And I'm so honored to be here. Ulta Beauty, nationwide, almost every store. I think they have 1,400 stores. We're in almost every store nationwide, and on Ulta.com, and then JuiceBeauty.com. Those are the 2 easiest ways. And then in some countries like Canada, we're at Sephora, we're in major retailers. And then if you can't find us, JuiceBeauty.com, of course. Juice Beauty is also LinkedIn Juice Beauty, Instagram Juice Beauty, TikTok Juice Beauty. Pretty easy to find. Thank you for spreading the beyond clean to organic ingredients and high efficacy beauty word. Thank you from everyone at Juice Beauty.
Thank you for joining us today. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me at hello@shebuiltit.com, on our She Built It website, or at She Built It on social. Thank you to my editor, Rich Streffolino, who always makes us sound good. Until next time, let nothing stop you from experiencing the life and business that you crave.